Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with the most important question on Reddit. Am I the bunghole? Let's dive in and see what the question is today. Am I the bunghole for giving my daughter a list of stipulations and not allowing her to move back in unless she agrees to follow them? I'm going to hold my comments until the end. My husband, Luke, and I's eldest child, Betty, a 25-year-old female, moved out last year. When Betty lived with us, there were many tantrums thrown about the house rules. Things like why she can't have wild parties at the house. Why did she have to load the dishwasher without being paid? And why we bought our son a laptop that he needed for school, but wouldn't give her money to go to Coachella. Luke and I explained to Betty that she is not owed fun money from us. We will not pay for her doing chores because she will have to do the chores regardless of whose house she lives in. She is an adult, and once she moves out and pays for her own things, housing, utilities, car insurance, gas, groceries, and etc., then she can do what she wants. Since moving out, Betty has frequently asked us for money because she cannot afford to do something fun with her friends, or she doesn't have time because of work. Luke and I always refuse because vacations and nights out aren't a need, and being an adult means you don't get to hang out with your friends and go do expensive things all the time. We went out to lunch. We went out to lunch with Betty last week, and she asked to live with us again. Luke and I said that as long as she honored the following stipulations, we were more than happy to let her return home. Pay rent every month, $500 that covers groceries and utilities, or be in school. If she chooses to be in school, we will pay for her schooling and any tutors, but she must take her education seriously and earn passing grades. Do a fair share of chores, load and unload the dishwasher, clean the pool, wipe the kitchen counter and stove, and help put away groceries. No wild parties at the house, no illegal drugs, and no smoking of any kind. If she wants to smoke, do it somewhere else. Betty said she refused to agree to these rules, so we told her, okay, that's her choice to make, and it is also our choice not to allow her to move back in. Betty tried to start an argument, but Luke and I weren't playing along. We told Betty that she's 25 and it's time for her to grow up. She needs to accept now that this is reality and get used to handling her own adult things. My in-laws and a friend of Betty's has reached out to tell Luke and I that we're bungholes. They said we couldn't believe we were charging Betty rent, let alone asking her to do chores on top of it. Because she's our child, and don't we love her? Betty is our child, and we love her. Nothing will change that. At the same time, Betty's a grown adult. People aren't going to fund and enable her to just have fun all the time. Even and especially not us. Luke and I don't understand how multiple people think this is selfish or unreasonable, so I'm looking for neutral perspectives on here. To answer the question of why Betty has a mentality that Luke and I should enable her to have fun all day, Betty's biological father has unfortunately caused her to develop this attitude. He insists that my husband and I should pay for Betty to have fun all day and handle her responsibilities, yet he's not willing to do it himself. Okay, so let's unpack. First off, it's your house, it's your rules, period. It doesn't matter what age your child is. If they are living in your home, they are subject to your rules. That's just how it goes. If you set out the stipulations that she can follow these rules and she will be allowed to stay there, and she says no, and you say no, then there's no bunghole, right? That is two adults or three deciding this is not an agreeable situation and departing. So the only problem is coming from these outside sources. Now, I'm sure Betty is stirring this up because she is an entitled little piece of turd. And I'm sorry that that's your child, but such is life. Our father, who apparently doesn't take... And see, here's the other thing. The father might be doing this too. Like, she may be going to him and he's like, why don't you go to them? Because you're always coming to me. And she's going to both of y'all. And she's milking both of y'all for money because she's entitled. That is a curse of this generation, unfortunately. And they seem to think that they should be paid for things, that they are entitled because they didn't ask to be on this planet. Well, nobody asked to be on the planet. We were all brought here by our parents and by the will of the great God Almighty. And his charge for you as a parent is to raise up good children. Now, there might have been some slack time for you in that. It appears to be that way. Now, being a child of divorce, I can understand the split household can cause some definite situations. But those should have been addressed long ago. The fact that she doesn't take her education seriously falls back on you as a parent. Not so much that she's an adult now, but it appears to have been a habit throughout her life. And the fact that you didn't correct that as a parent for your child is a problem. It is. It is a problem that is common all across this country. Everybody just feels like, hey, my kids can be raised by the internet. The school is going to teach them what they need to know, and it's going to be fine. That we can just put people in front of games and they can play all day, and we should, as parents, just take care of them for the rest of their lives. Like, that is literally what they're being taught. They are being pushed. One of them isms that started from a guy named Marx and was picked up by several other leaders, and I really don't want to say it because this is YouTube. But that is what this is. This is that being made manifest in your life as a practical application. Your child has been indoctrinated into that system and now feels entitled to a life of ease, because that is what that ism sells them. It sells them a life of ease, that they are entitled to just do what they want and get whatever money that they need. That is what that ism teaches them. That is why it is a problem, and it is rampant across our country. If we as parents don't rein that in, we wind up with this. I'm not trying to dig on you, because you are just like millions of other parents out there. You're busy, you're not paying attention. This is a wake-up call to any other parents that happen to see this. Like, these parents are not the bunghole. They're just setting these boundaries too late. These boundaries should have been set early. This should have been set from the beginning. It's going to be this way. Like, I don't like to brag, but I didn't have these conflicts with my children because whenever the issue popped up, we dealt with it immediately with consistent discipline in the issue, whatever it is. The punishment has to be the same every time, regardless. There can be no slip or slide. My children will not tell you that I am overbearing. I promise you that. They will not tell you that I am abusive in any manner. We talked like adults from the time they were children. I explained why they got in trouble and where the boundaries lie. The boundaries lie in you doing what you're told. The boundaries lie in you doing what you're told. But you're not the bunghole. These other people, however, they are. Like this, your in-laws and a friend of hers has reached out to say that you're being bungholes. Well, that's unfortunate, and that is a severe problem of boundaries not being set in a different direction. You need to set some boundaries in this situation, like you do, because first off, they shouldn't feel comfortable coming at you with that kind of energy. Like, ain't nobody gonna come at me with that kind of energy. Like, you can come with me with questions, you can come with me with concerns, but you're not gonna come with me and tell me I'm gonna do anything about my own children. Pert the end. Like, that's it. That's a wrap. There ain't no more to that. And so you need to set this boundary with your in-laws. You need to say, hey, this is not cool. You allowing this narcissist child that I raised to manipulate you into manipulating us is a problem. And that's the situation that is happening here. And the friend, like, why does the friend feel comfortable doing that? Like, these people are acting like she is entitled to the fruits of your labors. Nobody is entitled to the fruits of your labors. Once your child is a majority, you don't owe them anything. Now, up until that point, you owe them everything. From the time they are conceived to the time that they are fully grown and capable of taking care of themselves, you, as a parent, are fully responsible for that. Every single step of what they do. Now, you may not like that because that infringes upon your free time. Well, that's what you do when you become a parent. You lose your free time. You lose your party time. You lose all of the good fun stuff for the most part, because your responsibility is to raise responsible adults. So, if anything, I would say you are the bunghole for not doing that, and that is what it is. But I don't really see this situation as a bunghole situation. The bunghole in this situation is your daughter. Your daughter has a problem, and that is something that I can't help with unless she came to me. Why you would have to tell a 25-year-old that they need to do something, like, it's crazy. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. Hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion to a not too complicated subject. Like, it's not complicated to expect your children to do what they're told. It's not. Like, so, to the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. If you like what I'm doing, let me know in the comments. If you don't like what I'm doing, let me know in the comments. Until next time, I love you. You're perfect, whole, and complete, just the way that you are. This has been pittstake. Peace.